Greetings, humanity. We are, in fact, playing the Cold Ruins of Lastlife. Finally! It feels like it's been at least 20 forevers since we actually did the first episode, but now we are finally once more getting back into this thing. And we're going to go around real quick and say who we are and who we're playing. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns. This is my channel. And I am playing Gregor, the spectral paladin. And let's move around to Charlie. Hello.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm she, her. I'm playing Auden, and she's a frozen mage.
And Rachel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Sivna, the bog mummy hunter who uses they, them pronouns.
And sadly, Lloyd could not be with us today to play the Legionnaire, as he is actually is out at a charity event today. And I just wish him the best of luck on that. I hope things are going well. And I shall now hand things over to our GM, Mathias.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mathias, he, him, and I'm super excited to get this going. If you all, do you all remember? I do remember what happened last time, right? I think we came upon this old manor at the edge of a cliff overlooking the dark waters. Like literally dark waters. They're like black ink. And we had Auden looking over that ocean. And with Auden was Gregor, right?
Yeah.
Up in the feast hall. And down, way down in the dungeons of that place, we found the being who's just known as Legionnaire, and with the Legionnaire, Sivna, who was in the same cell. Like the Legionnaire was kind of chained to the wall, when Sivna woke up, they found themselves here. Yeah, exactly.
Not chained.
Not chained. How did you manage to break free, by the way? I think
I knew the spell of the language of the spell that was binding Legionnaire. And then Legionnaire used their immense strength to break down the doors of the cell, just barreling on through.
Exactly. And then you ran into something completely otherworldly as well. That was in the center of the dungeons there. But I think as we come back, we get this montage where it's black and you get this heartbeat, and at the heartbeat you get like a new image, right? Which is only like a couple of frames long. And it's like this whoomp image of the Legionnaire who's like getting ready to charge something new. Whoomp. The image of the twinned torso and many-legged abomination. Whoomp. We see Sivna watching that from the shadows. Whoomp. The what's between the two, the flower on the pedestal. Who remembers what kind of flower that was? Do you remember the flower? Does anybody?
Hyacinth. It was a hyacinth, wasn't it?
I think so, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. didn't write it down. I don't have proof.
I remember there was something significant about the flower because it was tied to one of the characters, possibly.
Yeah.
Was that like that symbol? I think probably. I think it might be the same symbol I have on the axe of my halberd.
Are you muted, Charlie?
Wasn't it a gardenia?
I think so, right? Because didn't you come up with that flower, whatever
I
flower
think
it is?
so. I think I did. That's why I was like, I think it might be a gardenia.
Well, color me wrong. That's fine. I should have written it down.
Well, we didn't really get a close enough look anyways at it. Maybe it was either or, who knows, right? Because at least it was vibrant with life. I think that's the important bit about it. And we get the next whoop as the Legionnaire starts charging, and then we see Gregor. You've like moved over to one side of the great feast hall where the manor is kind of lacking like parts of the wall, and you can look out into the countryside. Well, below it's a weird. Everything falls off. It's like the ocean is kind of held back by cliffs, and the country or the land beyond it is lower than the ocean. So that's a scary thing. Yeah, does that make sense?
So it's like there's the land is in front of the ocean or beyond the ocean that we're seeing. Like from our perspective.
From your perspective, the land is spreads down and out below you.
Okay.
On one side of the map.
Okay, but then the ocean is up above on the like the horizon is higher than
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have a good view, and I think we see Gregor like pointing at something at the in the horizon. Same time we get woo as like a view from down below up at Gregor, something crawling up, and whoom, a view at Auden, who, as you follow Gregor's pointing, you see 2 or 3 objects in the sky. They're like fiery points that are arcing across from a from some kind of remnant way beyond. Gonna check something. Yeah. Let's get those on the map here. If you look at the map.
Let me take a look here. We've got the manor and the dark waters. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, and further south.
Oh, there's another thing down there. Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Let me show folks that. And so I switch over to the other view. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna quickly just hop over and show that to folks while we're going on. Yeah. Awesome. There it is. Okay. Yeah, they should be able to see that now. And so what this looks like a sort of a cathedral-looking edifice.
Mm-hmm. That's way beyond some forests and fields and who knows what to get there. At least, but from there you see several streaks of fire streaking across the sky, coming rapidly, quickly closer. And as we see the Legionnaire take on their charge and barrel towards the twin torso abomination, we see those streaks flying in, right? So, what do you do? Auden, Gregor.
Oh, do these streaks appear to be aiming at us specifically?
Oh yeah, they're like best case they're fireballs, worst case they're meteorites coming in.
Okay, is there a way? Let's see. Is there a way further down from here, into a lower part of the structure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's either going down there and possibly have things raining down on us, or running to the other side. I think. So
you can just right? We have a move for that, right? If you want to get more clarity.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Let me see, just sort of. What have I got here on my sheet?
So the game doesn't have discern realities as such, because it has a different move for that.
Let's see. I've got study the ruins. Is that what? Is that the one?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Let me see. Do I have a button, or do I just press this? Let's press this and see what happens.
Yeah, you should be able to press that.
Okay, let me actually switch that back over and get to the right screen so that I can do this without going too crazy here. All right. There.
And
sorry.
When you study the ruins of Lastlife, roll plus Wiz on a hit, mark Radiance. Do you have it? Nope.
Nope.
On a hit,
XP.
Yeah. You do get XP. Yes, mark that. And I get to make the move. So, I think Auden, what you see this happening, right? You see Gregor looking about, pointing at those things that are flying towards you, and he's about to say something. Maybe what his plan is, or what he thinks we need to do, as like a hand from down below, like the staircase that leads further down, suddenly grabs at his ankle and yanks at him and pulls him down. And you're in full armor, right? So you get
Yes.
that clatter as someone or something pulls you down. Down the staircase that leads further down. What do you do, Auden?
She was gonna throw her hands out and try to create a shield in the air from those things.
Against those, yeah? Like what kind of shield?
Ice.
All right. How's that work? What's that look like? Is that something?
I was going to use it as cast a spell, I guess.
Yeah.
And it would just, if it worked.
Can you read what cast a spell does for us, like the trigger and stuff?
Yeah. When you use the chaotic and unpredictable power of magic to deal with a problem right in front of you, roll plus intelligence. On a 10 plus, your spell helps solve the problem, but choose 2, or let the GM choose 1. On a 7 to 9, the spell takes effect, but the GM chooses 2.
Yeah.
On a miss, something's gone horribly wrong.
Okay.
So.
That's yeah, you can definitely do that.
It's a 9.
Nice. So you need to choose 2 though.
I think maybe the first 2, which are your spell won't last long, so you need to hurry to take advantage of it, or your spell effects either much more or much less than you wanted it to. So maybe like it's a much smaller shield, and it doesn't have as much lasting presence for whatever's coming towards it.
Okay, so what you mean is you feel like you only protect like very locally?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So what does this look like though, right? What's your like spellcasting look like? Like give us what do you imagine this to be like?
Just like a very icy cold energy, like radiating from her hands, which are already blue and icy. I don't think it would like extend it from her hand like the ice. It would just kind of appear in the sky.
Yeah, so it's like where the gap in the stonework is.
Yeah.
So what we basically get is like this fireball flying in close as like the ice wall is created, and we hear like the deafening sound of the fireball hitting your wall of ice. Yeah, I like that.
And then she would focus on Gregor.
Well, Gregor's gone at this point.
Well, like focus on like where he went, like where the sound came from.
I like that. I think what else you hear is one of the other fireballs detonating somewhere further east, some other wing of the manor, and hitting that. Let's have a look downstairs though, like not downstairs, like really downstairs. Sivna, you see that Legionnaire is charging this abomination. Is there anything you want to do before they like actually collide? This is like a couple of moments before the fireballs hit up top.
Well, I can't see the fireballs, can I?
No, you're not aware. Yeah,
I'm not even aware.
Yeah.
I need to get myself a weapon because I have nothing right now, and I need to defend myself.
Oh, you don't have your things, like your possession that you were used to on you?
Well, that's what you said in the last session.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just checking.
Yeah, no, we don't. I have nothing.
Yeah, so
I have my magnificent cloak. And that's it.
And that's it. And
my magnificent fur cloak. I have everything important. I have my magnificent fur cloak.
Okay, then and you scouted a little bit, so you have a little bit of knowledge of where of the lower floors already, where to potentially go, because in the moment where the Legionnaire collides with the abomination, they fly back, and from up top, a fireball bursts through the ceiling, into that great hall in the middle, and the floor gives way. So like with a big fiery inferno, the Legionnaire and the Abomination drop into a chasm that opens up as like the floor gives way, and like the pedestal with the flower slowly arcs and also crashes and falls down there. The structural integrity of the whole manor is definitely ruined, is what you would say. What do you do?
Get out. I'm not going to stay by this chasm because it's only going to get more unstable from there.
I think we see you as like more dust comes down the hallways. We see you running and moving from corridor to corridor, right? Like there's one point where you let where you hold back to maybe lead to other hollowed out creatures pass, or panicky is kind of the wrong word, but who are trying. They're definitely moving somewhere and trying to get out and away as well. So you kind of follow and step behind them. Gregor. Like you've been pulled down, and you've been like there's this staircase without any support, any railings, and you like suddenly toppling down there, and you're like falling, and you hear like this thundering noise. It's as something very close, very nearby explodes, but doesn't like penetrate through to where you are. As you like keep tumbling, and you bam hit a floor. First of all, take 1d6 damage from.
All right. 2. Where do I put my hit points? Here we go. Done and done. Clang, 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 clatter, clatter. So slowly just like try to sort of shift, and like I think that when I hit the floor, it's like a couple of the pieces of armor sort of go stray, and I think that I sort of fade in and out for him. The me in the armor sort of fades in and out for a second, and then when I come back, the armor just sort of pulls itself back together, and I try to lift up my halberd, bring it down on the floor, and get back to my feet if I can.
Yeah, I like that. Like one piece of your armor is like vibrating, screeching along the floor to like collect itself back into the hole, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
And we get that like low shot at that and move with it. And as you pull yourself up again, and you see like, there's maybe like a dozen sets of eyes in the darkness that are like looking at you. And as we get more accustomed, there's like there's forms that belong to those eyes, like creatures who are they're not entirely walking upright, but they're like hunched down, often using a hand to support themselves, right? Yeah.
So I just flip my halberd down into a sort of an on guard position, across my hands, and I just sort of take up a slightly defensive position with it pointed toward, and I say, "Show yourselves, beasts."
Yeah, and it's like it begins as a whisper and then very quickly spreads into a snarling all around you, where they're like, on your basically your shield took the entire blast of that fireball, and with it there's like a thick bank of fog now. That's what's left of the fireball and your eyes, right? And you see down below, and you can follow the stairs down below that lead further down into the manor. Definitely doesn't look as nice down there as this grand hall up here does.
She would definitely follow where Gregor was pulled down.
Yeah. You do see, I think you do catch a glimpse of, beyond the fog bank, that whatever launched those first fireballs has launched the next ones.
Yeah, she would just I think she would kind of move quickly down to both follow where he went and avoid the next fireball that would be heading this way.
Yeah. Cool. Sivna.
Hello.
Yeah, you're making your way up. You're following these two creatures who suddenly jerk up as if they heard something, and they begin to quicken their pace, and you follow them, and I think as you do follow them, you no, I don't think so. Yeah, you follow them, and I think you get to be witness again, as let's quickly imagine what the space actually looks like. I think Gregor, where you are is kind of like a platform that has these circling stairs coming down, and there are further circling stairs coming up to this platform, and they're definitely two exits here, either leading further into the manor or to some kind of barricades on the outside. That's your best guess. And Sivna, you're following up those two creatures that are now rushing up, and they're joining in with the rest of their kin, and you can already make out that they're circling someone.
Did I end up getting my stuff or finding anything, or am I still unarmed?
You're still unarmed.
Loving this. I don't even have anything.
You can still do anything, though. Right?
Yeah, I know. I can still do something.
But they're encroaching you, Gregor.
I have a thing I would like to attempt to do, if I may. And that is that basically I'm going to, as I hold it up and I just sort of look at them, and I think my voice echoes a little bit as I say this, and I just say, "Stand down, foul creatures," and I would like to use my "I am the law" move on them, if I may.
Sure. What's the trigger for that?
When you give an NPC an order based on your divine authority. So actually, so I'll say, in the name of the Eidolon, stand down.
All right. No, let's have that roll. I like that.
All right.
That is pretty awesome.
Okay.
There you go. They choose one.
Yes.
Do what you say. Back away cautiously, then flee, or attack you.
But I do. I apparently take. Oh no, that's right. It's 7 to 9. No, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my question. Why do you? And anybody can chime in on this if any of you have an idea. Why would they hate the Eidolon?
They might think that it. Well, if it. We were a rather dogmatic bunch, so it is entirely possible that if we hunted them or their families, or we're not, we're basically we're responsible for any sort of atrocities near the end, whereby we were trying to purge them from our ranks. Then that might be a reason.
Interesting. Is the This is just a quick question. Does the Eidolon mean anything to Sivna?
Yes, I think so, because I believe that this order existed when I was around.
Mm-hmm.
So it flickers a little bit of like a memory in the back. It's like recognition is what I feel for this.
So, yeah. I think that's the important bit. If you do want to remember something, we can talk about that. But I think right now what's pressing is they all go quiet for a moment, right? Like you say that, and there's like this beat of silence. And then they all attack at the same time.
Yes.
What do you do?
As for me, I'm going to begin doing my best imitation of a Cuisinart. It's kind of just sort of try. I try to find a position I can defend, either in a doorway or or a portal if possible, near a wall or near crumbled stairs. I know we've got crumbled stairs to use defensively, and then start hacking at them, keeping them at bay, and hacking at whichever one comes closest.
Well, it sounds like you're trying to defend, though, right?
Primarily, yes. There are a lot of these, and also if Auden is coming down after me, if I can hear her coming down, then I want to make sure that I'm between her and them.
Yeah. Also, I think I recognize that he's gonna get absolutely smashed by these dudes.
I don't know about that. Who knows? Right?
Well, who knows? I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I could help him in taking down these guys, or at least holding them off for a little bit. Could I grab a couple and just like hurl them down the stairs?
Yeah, of course. So,
and treat that as like an aid or interfere roll?
Yeah. Here's my question though. What's this weird armor do to you? Like, why are you doing this? I'm curious.
Well, the bond that I have with Gregor is the rhetoric of his order. So
you recognize, that's the memory that...
Yeah, that's what I know.
Yes, yeah.
And
exactly.
So I hear the Eidolon, and I say in my brain, or what's left of it, that this is something worth respecting and worth protecting. And also these are little evil, I don't know what they look like, the hollowed out beings, and they don't look human to me. So I'm gonna just try and...
You can definitely help, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna roll to aid or interfere before he makes this roll. No.
Well, less XP. Also get the defend roll down.
Yep.
From you, Gregor. And then we'll see where we're at.
I did nothing.
Oh, defend. Yeah, let me see. Defend.
Sorry.
All right.
So you get to hold one. Okay. What's your that's a good reminder. What's your I think this is what happens. I think Sivna, you actually do what you set out to do in a sense. Like you grab two of them, right? And you keep them from like taking and occupying the stairs that are leading upwards, as you pull them back and hurl them down the stairway where you came from. And Gregor, this is when you you ram the butt of your halberd into a third one, as you take position on the edge of the staircase, where Arden's coming down. So I think you two can actually even make like eye contact. But what's more is you make eye contact with...
I don't...
Yeah?
I don't have eyes. Really?
Yes, I mean, eye contact. It's like your gaze is like... Yes, Gregor doesn't either, really.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got glowing pinpoints.
Yeah, I've got... Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And those glowing pinpoints... you see and recognize Sivna, who's someone you blame them for a big part of whatever catastrophe happened, right?
Which is interesting.
That's one thing, yeah. And the other thing is you didn't notice how they helped you here.
I did not notice.
No.
Okay. So I think that that basically this ancient this ancient creature that was not alive during my time, but which there was some degree of there's a bit of a schism probably in our order, over, because we had essentially essentially the Eidolon over time had sort of evolved into kind of a somewhat of a worship of them, of Sivna. But this was long after they had already passed away, so they do not know this probably.
I don't. Thanks.
But this was a thing where, like, this is sort of like I followed the ideals of that we were supposed to of this, and we were led to ruin somehow. I'm not completely clear on how. I can't quite remember exactly what it was yet, but I know that I know that they must be responsible. And this is only proof that this is coming back. So, yeah, definitely going to seeing this. I'm going to pull a little further back up a step, and just sort of like glance up and call a warning up to Auden.
Yeah, Auden, as you come down, you basically see this standoff situation between Gregor and I don't know what your bond is with Sivna, actually. Is there any? You didn't write it down on your sheet, so I hope you wrote it down in your notes. What your bonds are.
Oh, I have them. I was reading it and then I realized I was muted. Mine for Sivna is in the days before the end, Sivna was a noble soul. I fear this world will corrupt them. So.
Okay. So, how? Here's a big question. I think we need to discuss this, because I think this is an important point. How do Gregor and Auden actually? By what way do they recognize who Sivna is? Rachel, feel free to tell us about what they actually look like now.
Yeah, well, they look mostly like a person. But if a person wasn't quite a person and had been dried out and stretched a little bit in the facial area, you can see like my teeth, but like my mouth is a little bit offset. Like, you know when you're asleep and your face squishes? It's like that, but it's frozen in that position. And my eyes are offset too, and there's nothing in there. What is kind of impressive or recognizable is my hair, which is done all in plaited. And I mean, the acidity of a bog has changed it to this like copper color. And it's flat and kind of strange looking, but it's still like intricately braided together with like little pieces of metal and ribbon woven into my hair. And I'm also wearing a magnificent fur cloak that has like the skull of an animal. I'm some sort of horned animal. I'm thinking like a young deer or something. Mm-hmm. Just the top half sitting on my shoulder, which holds the robe together.
So by what detail do you two, and it can be different for each of you, right? Do you actually identify Sivna as Sivna?
I think in my case there was a prophecy about Sivna's return, and to provide judgment for humanity, which actually at this point no longer exists. But it described that there would be a that their aspect would be that from their head would spring a sparkling mantle of the same color as you sort of situation described with the hair, and upon them would be they would present the skull of a buck or some such thing, and that is how we would know them, and it's a thing where I think up until the apocalypse, most of us really liked Sivna. But then when it started happening, there were sort of things clicking together, and it was like, wait a minute, for some of us.
Why aren't they here to save us, kind of thing?
Yeah, well, that plus, I think that was part of it, yeah, definitely. And then, other things that might have suggested. There might have been Apocrypha that some of us hadn't paid attention to, but some of us had. And I think Gregor was one of the ones who had paid attention to the Apocrypha, but discounted it until Sivna did not show up to save humanity.
Sorry about that. I didn't know it was my responsibility.
Nice. And Auden, you have a much more.
Well, since Auden isn't remotely religious, so she wouldn't really know about this faction. I was thinking maybe and since Sivna lived way, way before Auden ever did, maybe cryptid lore about the creature in the woods, and she recognizes the cloak.
It's like folklore of
Yeah.
Kind of like a woman in white kind of thing, where it's you'll know this ghost, this spirit, because of the cloak that it wears. Love this. I love that I picked the magnificent cloak. This is a good idea.
Yes, definitely. And it's so on for you. It is how you cherish something from a childhood memory.
Yeah,
and that makes
just kind of hearing the stories of
Yep.
the nurturing soul in the woods.
There's this pause that goes through those creatures that were jumping Gregor as Gregor pulled himself back and got himself into a defensible position. Who now look back and forth between you two being standoffish like this. What do you do?
Well, which one of us first?
Yeah.
Either whoever jumps in first, don't be shy about interrupting me as well. You can always interrupt me. Oh, I need to do this right now. That's way better. We can take it to a roll at any time if that's necessary. So
I'm still kind of behind the wave of these creatures.
Yeah, you pull two back, and they their first rush get repelled by Gregor. That has opened up this situation where you two are now Gregor and you, Sivna, are facing each other a couple of paces apart, right? And the creatures have now recognized you're there as well. And it's just a moment of recognition, and
I think
I'm interested.
Sorry, I think I'm going to say basically what Gregor will say to Sivna is, please call off these beasts. There is precious little left for them to take.
And I say, Paladin of Eidolon, I know not what of you speak. These are not my beasts.
It's one of my suggested spells too. So I was gonna try to induce stasis on all the creatures that are not Gregor or Sivna, to just kind of freeze them in place so they can't attack.
Oh, okay. So this is bordering on time magic, right? Just trying to. What does this look like? Do you jump down between Gregor and Sivna to enact this?
Yeah, she'd probably be in front of Gregor. And just kind of, she might, I feel like she'd probably even touch their shoulders. Or, like, touch a part of them. To just kind of freeze them. And it's not like,
No, I like this.
They'll be aware. They're not going to be, like, frozen in time, like, actually.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. That's not necessarily better for them.
I mean, they're weird creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
How do we see this happening? Like, what does this? What's happening that shows us what's happening with these creatures?
Maybe if, like, when you touch one, like, that spot goes white.
Yeah, and what then? Like, the rest of them get interconnected by.
They could, like, if this, I guess, if I rolled well enough, like, I guess it could.
Yeah. I'm just interested in from the intent what this will look like. Sure. Yeah. Let's see that.
Oh, let's see that. Okay.
That's an 8.
Yeah. So maybe it saps some of my energy. And if you want to pick an unseen side effect, that one could work. Or if you think any of the other ones fit better.
If you want to, you decide. I'm fine with any of those. I know something for an unforeseen side effect. If you want to take that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that one too.
Yep.
Along with the energy sapping one.
I think what it is I think the entire room gets a way cold and frost covered, and it's like you touch the first two, like that were closest to Gregor, right? And they freeze, and they actually freeze, and it's like a wave from them on. That grabs the next ones, right? And the ones furthest back, like they're trying to get away, and they're actually caught as they're trying to get away. But it keeps going from there, and it's getting colder and colder, and you can hear the stonework being flash frozen, basically. And what happens to the stone as that pulls together, and potentially any moisture that's in there that freezes doesn't like that expands. So you like there's like this cracking in this entire manor that's happening now, and it's going to continue to happen here.
I say time is precious. We need to get out of here before the entire structure collapses on all of us.
Agreed. You
definitely agreed.
You all are probably actually seeing me. I just realized this detail. Is that when looking at my armor, you will see that my symbol is very similar, probably, to the one you remembered. Is this sort of symbol of sort of bands in a pattern on top of a comet. But probably in your day, the comet was ascending, and the on my armor, the symbol the comet is descending. So that's the main difference.
Speaking of descending comets,
Yes. Speaking of which, yes. Well,
I think
start moving
so.
on.
That sounded like a collective thing where you're all like, "Yeah, no, we need to get out of here."
Let's book it. Book it out.
And I think we see that you come out onto the balustrade, the side facing, for the lack of a better term, the valley, right? As 3 more of these fireballs come streaking in towards the manor, and I think we see you 3 basically instead of worrying too much more about that, basically jumping or letting yourself down and then jumping from the balustrades as these impact and bury themselves into the manor and reduce that building to some utter ruins. There's like a steep, the land falls off steeply here, and there's lots of old, they're like old dead pines, right? Like imagine like as they like still kept their needles, like the needles didn't fall off, but they're
But the needles are all red because the thing is dead.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's That's what they look like. I know pine trees.
Yep. And as you like manage to get some distance, and you look back up, there's like another 3 barrel into that building, for whatever reason, whatever concern. As you make your way to a safe distance, beyond a couple of trees. Yeah, what do you do?
There was someone in there. Well, something in there with me.
More of the.
I think as you say that, we see like one wing like actually crumble inside and fall onto its right.
More of these death beasts.
It was more human than that.
I sort of turn, looking at the ruins, and just, not it's, are they? Where?
I know not where anymore. They were taken down within an abomination of sorts. It is beyond description that I can give.
I actually look a little surprised at that. But nod slowly. Let's see. What else is around here? Is just trees and the ruins of a manor house, or anything else?
The burning, crumbling ruins of the manor house and the land falling off, and you can see a little bit the landscape. It's kind of like, this is not a forest where you're at, right? You're at basically it's more like a mountainside with like a couple of sparse trees every now and then, like a few patches, and you can kind of still see the tops of the dark cathedral or whatever it is beyond. That itself sits again on on not on a mountaintop, but at an elevated height. And before you is some kind of valley where you can definitely see to the east. There's a stretch of what looks like, or to southeast is a stretch that looks like a well, it's a bright red from here, and upon like closer inspection or reflection, it seems to be like a forest. And south west is a much more open open land, a land that immediately draws your attention, Sivna. And to show you that on the map, that's kind of what this situation presents itself as.
I'm going to briefly turn to Auden and just sort of move over to her a little bit and say, my lady, I would seek vantage point to determine what our attackers are doing and see if I might detect any further sign of this other individual. Will you be all right? I say, just sort of glancing a little bit in Sivna's direction.
How can you be sure that they were attacking us specifically?
And just sort of looking up, either that or they were using us for target practice. Either way, there is still a question of safety. I would learn more.
Check them out.
I nod, and I start heading just basically to try to get to slightly higher ground, to try to see get a good vantage on the ruins, and then also on the the dark cathedral folk and the other buildings, and just see if there's still if we've still got that situation going. Let me pull back a little bit just so that I can see where it's so I can get a good fix on this other area. Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and start looking around.
I was gonna say, can I do the same thing but do it by climbing a tree?
Yeah, so if you like, you can both do the same thing, or you can have one help the other. What do you prefer?
I mean, Sivna's kind of contrarian, so...
Yeah. Then, to be clear, these little bubbles, right, that kind of indicate place. They indicate like entire areas. So just to travel from one to the other is going to be a thing in this game.
It's kind of like Dragon Age.
Yeah. Once you know the way, it's going to be way easier to backtrack and get back to if you need to revisit an old location. But until then, like actually finding your way is going to be a thing to achieve. But yeah, like if you're both trying to basically get the lay of the land, you can both do a study the ruins roll.
I was actually hoping to do Communion of Whispers.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's hear
which
about
is
that.
one of my special moves.
And
so Communion of Whispers, I'll read the description here, which is when you spend time in a place making note of its resident spirits and calling on the spirits of the land, roll plus wisdom, you will be granted a vision of significance to you, your allies, and the spirits around you. So I'm climbing to the top of this dead tree. I'm kind of, I don't know, like with my energy or whatever, and into the earth and trying to feel whatever is there.
Yeah, and this is Sivna's very. Like I imagine you climbing a tree is a sight to behold in itself. Like it's probably very creepy and quick, right? It's not laborious, I imagine. Or what do you imagine this being like?
I think that even though muscle memory probably doesn't last very much after you've died, Sivna has climbed enough trees in their lifetime to just know how to climb trees simply and easily. Just scurry up them. Any kind of tree. I'm a tree person.
That's a good word, though. I like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, both of your rolls I would like to get down before.
Cool.
No.
Very good. All right. So yeah, I think let's handle what you see and experience first, if not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this land is both familiar and strange to you. As you look out from the tree and on what's beyond, you have the definitive feel of it's like a call. It's like it's even as if what you see down the slope towards the west, it's like a glimmer that catches your sight. You feel there is something down there that is yours. And as you turn to take in the rest of the land, you definitely feel this glow emanating from these other two that are down there. What were your bonds with them, like from your point of view, by the way? Well, we know the one with Gregor. That's the
yeah.
The one
Mine with Auden is that Auden was strange and foreign in the days before the end. Even now, I still find them unnerving and discomforting, which I'm interpreting as her magic is really weird and it throws me off my rhythm.
Yeah, and you saw like you were you just got to witness that, right? But you can definitely see the glow of, I don't know what to call it. It's the glow. Yeah, it is power in one sense, but that's not what it's about. You can definitely see how they're full. Life is also not the right word. Full of soul that is still there with them. Did that come across, or did we cut out for you?
She's frozen.
Oh no.
I mean, we're almost at the half-time mark if you want to take a break here.
Just moving again. Can
Yeah,
you hear us
sorry.
okay?
I can hear you, but you guys are all frozen on my screen.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you got what I told you about the others.
I got 0 of what you told me. But we can go over that in the break.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You want? Shall we go ahead and go to break for a bit?
Yeah, then we can reset and make sure.
Righto. Let's do that. Okay, folks. We'll be back shortly. Within a certain amount of time, a unit of time, within 5 to 10 minutes or so. Take care. We'll see you in a little bit. we have returned, and for the moment, the internet seems to have settled, but we're having a few internet issues on multiple ends. So no one panic if suddenly things blur out or freeze or what have you. We will be back. We're just hammering it all out and figuring out what we're doing as far as that whole thing goes, and hopefully all shall be well. And
I died. I'm sorry, guys.
and suddenly,
Okay, we're back though.
and now Rachel is the GM. No, wait, let me.
Oh no.
And I can lean back.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody gets 6 levels, and you're super not dead anymore, and you look very nice. Your hair looks nice today.
All right.
The apocalypse is over.
Yes, yay! The apocalypse is
That's
canceled,
canon.
everyone. Okay, I got it fixed now.
Yeah, the apocalypse.
What's that?
Sorry about that, y'all.
Cancel culture is toxic.
Yeah. We're back in place.
Gregor, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You're looking over the land and you're trying to make out, okay, where are we at? What do you need to keep a watch out for? Sivna has like scurried up a tree or something, but you don't know how much you can even trust them.
Yeah.
But now as you like have a moment and take the time and you look over and you see like maybe there's like a couple of clouds parting, and you take in the sight of whatever is beyond where those fireballs were thrown from. You instinctively know what that place is. You know that is Castle Oblivion with the throne that's should be rightly the throne of your future queen. And your future queen, like suddenly like these things come rushing back in. Right? You're a paladin of the Eidolon? To all intents or purposes, the Eidolon is the future queen. Until they can become and grow into themselves and take the throne, they are the Eidolon. You need to guide and guard them there. Your order is the order of now let's see if I can butcher this really nicely, of the order of whole Jetheriae.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Write that down.
And the whole Jetheriae are devoted to a single cause, the kingdom of old and its ruler. Do they remember the name of the kingdom? No. Do they remember why it's so important? No. Do they know the parents of the kingdom's rightful ruler? No. Do they know who their kingdom's ruler is? Yes. And that's all that's important.
And so this kingdom's ruler is supposed to be the Eidolon who will become the future queen, or rather will become the queen.
Yes.
Okay, so that's for the kingdom.
And you know who it is. It's an infant encased in a crystal orb. How you know that? Where you know that from, or how that's supposed to work? No idea.
Okay. all this sort of comes to me as I'm just sort of staring at this
At that castle. Across.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm just like,
And you know that's where the throne is. That's where whoever sits on that throne right now sits on that throne unjustly.
yes, we must take it back.
Is that the case? Is that your quest?
I think that must be that. That is becoming my. We must take the castle back so that we can secure it for the. So that we can secure it for the Eidolon. I'm not entirely convinced anymore that. That Sivna is the Eidolon, but because again it was there was supposed to be they were supposed to be reborn as an infant in a crystal orb, so we need to find. So yes, we must secure that place. We must find the infant in the crystal orb. And so actually those are two different things. So I'm trying to decide which quest is going to be.
The quest itself should be like to achieve the quest there might be winding paths and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But we should be pretty straightforward about what the quest is.
I think probably step one is probably find infant. Step 2 is probably secure Castle Oblivion. Step 3 is a question mark. Step 4 is profit. That's usually how these things go. Basically it's I think that seems to me the proper order of things. I mean, Castle Oblivion is right there, so there's this great temptation to try and go siege it, but
that's already like kind of too complicated.
Yeah.
What's the single goal, like to get the
find the infant? I think that's going to be the thing, probably. I would think.
Or is it to seat the infant on on her rightful throne?
Ultimately, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's if we want to boil it down to a single like sentence thing, it would be seat the infant on the throne.
Yeah. Nice.
That works.
All right.
I mean, yeah, ultimately, and then obviously someone else will need to.
Oh wait, this is actually easier if you look at your this works differently. Is that true? State what you set out to do. It's either slay, defend, or discover. If you look at the details of the quest move.
Yeah, let me actually.
Let's pull up the actual.
Yeah. I need to pull up the move again here as I was tinkering with the camera view there. Let's see. Quest. Here we go. You dedicate yourself to a mission through prayer and ritual cleansing. State what you set out to do. Slay X, defend X, discover the truth of X. Oh, okay, it's probably got to be one of those three then.
Yeah, exactly. So we're making it way too complicated.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
So it's probably slay whoever sits right now on the throne.
A great blight on the land. I mean, that was my character's first thought, and his alignment is obsessed. Is basically destroy something corrupted by the fall is his alignment move. So that's probably where he would be aiming. I mean, discovering the truth of the infant would be great and all, but he's probably not thinking that clearly. So yeah, it's going to be slay the false slay the tyrant who sits on the throne of Castle Oblivion, a great blight on the land. There we go.
Nice. And you get to choose 2 boons.
So
yeah. Think a moment about that. Auden Gregor's been staring off down to the south for like standing still, staring off into the south for like a pretty long while now. What have you been doing? And are you concerned by this? You're muted.
She is pretty much just kind of chilling, waiting for them to give her some info on what's the surroundings. Like
so I know what this means when. Yeah, I know what this means when anybody else says chilling, but with Auden, I kind of need to be clear.
She is just resting.
Mm-hmm.
She's just standing and waiting for them to come back with some reports on where to go from here, because she does not have any clue.
I scramble down from the tree, and it's a very uncanny sight. It doesn't look good to your eyes, because you have them, right? It doesn't look good. It looks bad. In fact, those are the words you would say. You would say, this looks bad, and I don't like it. And I turn to you, and I say, I believe we should go west. But I fear I will not be of much use to anybody without a weapon.
What kind of weapon do you need?
Bow, quiver of arrows. That will more than suffice.
Hmm. Is west where that attacking castle was?
No. That's a different direction. It's to the plains.
I don't have GPS out here, so
I mean, all of the things are generally south of you, right?
I think we should figure out whoever put us in that manor and then attacked us.
I'm still not certain that they were attacking us. There was, as I said, a horrible abomination, which defies description of any kind.
Yes, but there was also us.
Wait, which one of them are you actually talking about?
I think the horrible abomination, it was the okay. Two-torsoed thing.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not that rude. Sivna has some, is a very direct person, but they would not call someone an abomination who they had spoken to, probably.
Do you recall how you got there?
No.
Nor do I. And I doubt our friend does. So for some reason we were there with an abomination and someone was attacking us.
These are a series of events that happened. You're correct.
I want to know who.
Perhaps the better question is to ask why.
It's easy to ask why when you know who.
I'm sorry, I don't know if we've been formally acquainted. My name is Sivna, I believe. Auden?
Auden. I think.
I share some of your lack of confidence.
I don't remember anything. Really. Some things. Nothing specific. Nothing recent, anyway.
I can't recall very much, but some things are more familiar than others. You are not familiar at all. So
Nor... Something about you is familiar, but not really at the same time.
It seems you have an advantage on me. Is he going to come back at any time, or is he just going to stare? He looks very self-involved.
I think I probably came back to myself when I heard Sivna say their name.
Yeah.
When I heard Sivna say their name, because I was like, wait, yes, that's confirmation. But I probably was still a bit of a ways off, and so I'm turning around and starting to head back in your direction.
Oi!
Good paladin. What is your quest?
As I come forward, and I just sort of look, cocking my head. I point with my halberd toward the castle, and I say, There is a tyrant upon the throne of Castle Oblivion. They must be stopped. They must be destroyed. They will lay all that remains to further ruin. This must not stand. Surely you understand this as the scion of the Eidolon.
Excuse me? I am no scion. At least not in my recollection. You must have mistaken me for someone else.
I just sort of shake my head. There is no mistaking Sivna the Eternal.
So, I want to, because I don't know, there might be something happening here, there might not, mechanically speaking. Any of you can at any time try, or not try, you can recall a memory if you want to. Just to go over, because it feels like you're skirting very close to that you might be doing something like that. And this is, when you recall a lost memory of Lastlife, say what you remember and roll plus int.
Okay. Is that me doing this?
I don't know, because
I was
it's a
gonna
conscious
say,
decision.
Okay.
What I remember, what Sivna remembers, is that I knew who the Order of Eidolon was. I was not affiliated with them.
That's right.
That's what I remember. I'm going to roll it to recall a lost memory.
Yeah.
8.
Nice. So, on a hit, mark 1 memory. So you get to mark 1 memory. So
is that the one on top or the one on bottom?
That's the one on bottom, I think.
Something terrible has happened where I've hidden the screen with the roll on it, but that's fine. I'm sure I can rectify that. There we go. So on a hit, mark 1 memory. On 7 to 9, choose 1. I believe my recollection is incomplete. I say this to Gregor, and I say, you are incorrect, because I recall an Order of Eidolon, but they were merely allies and friends, but I did not serve them or their ideals.
Of course not. It is much the other way around.
I believe.
Or has been.
Could you please elaborate? You've lost me somewhere.
I very much think perhaps we did.
Why are you being so cryptic? This is unnecessary.
You can just say what you think you want it to be.
I'm just tempted to come up with more riddles, just riddles within riddles, but no. Our order was greatly affected by your deeds. Do you not recall?
I recall nothing.
So I'm just sort of shaking my head slightly because for whatever reason I kind of naively seem to believe that Sivna is incapable of lying. So I'm just sort of as I just sort of shaking, I just sort of look up. Yes, it seems that the blight that took the land, however it happened, has displaced even can displace even demigods.
Did you say demigods?
That is you as we understand you.
Well,
But-
your understanding is incorrect.
Or perhaps you simply underestimate yourself.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm just a person.
That is how we all begin, as just a person. But one who also doubtless began as merely a person now wields great magic from the Oblivion throne.
I don't
They must
know
be
or care
stopped.
very much about the Oblivion Throne.
They were the ones attacking the manor you see there. It was from Castle Oblivion that the bolts of fire came.
I'm still holding fast by the fact that I was simply in the castle and not of the castle, or whatever the manor.
I think I begin to see that. Yeah, but
So the circumstances that we find ourselves in are very strange, to say the least, but it is so hasty to assume that they are the circumstances that you believe them to be.
it is what I know. I understand that there may be many interpretations, but these are the truths that I still am able to hold, and my understanding can shift on these things. I see that you are not precisely, perhaps, who, as I thought you might be, but I have no doubt of your potential.
What is when you say these are the things that you know? What things? What do you mean?
He's actually if you like, I can get into it in character, or I can tell you what I'm talking about before I start. It's just, mostly I'm talking about the situation with the infant in the orb, that the Eidolon can be more than one thing, and that the Eidolon itself is going to be reborn or
I
maybe
think-
has been reborn. As the,
I mean,
in the
and it does sound like Sivna's listening, so you can get into that in character if you like.
yeah. Okay.
I don't know how Auden is treating the situation.
She's like paying attention to them, but she has no idea what the hell they're talking about. So
I have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
This guy must have been hit really hard in the head. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I think you're off your rocker.
It's entirely possible.
he hit the stairs a little hard
Yeah.
when he was dragged down.
Yeah,
Still a bit scrambled.
demigod. Excuse me.
There is... The Eidolon will send avatars from time to time. This was a belief back even in your day, was it not, or was it?
If you could be a little bit more specific as to what my day is. I'm lost because you say you're of the Order of the Eidolon, but the things that you're saying are not familiar to me at all.
It has been some time for you. You lived, and you can see actually Gregor speaks a little haltingly because he's trying to remember and he can't fix on a number, so he's just going to say, you lived thousands of years
No,
before the world ended.
no, that cannot be. No.
Can't it?
You have sorely mistaken.
Here,
I think he's right.
No.
I think
I don't know anything about Eidolon or gods or whatever the hell you're talking about, but I remember tales of the spirit of the wood with a fine fur cloak and the head of a doe.
Okay, that's definitely a memory that you're recalling right there.
I can do that.
But I'm also thinking, because this was prompted by Gregor, that Gregor is actually helping here.
Okay.
As weird as that might sound. Oh, you don't need any help. So
Okay. I was trying to remember if I roll to help or if there's a thing going on. Usually.
yeah, with your bonds with the person.
She's basically just recalling cryptid lore, so I felt like it's not like personal memory. It's just
I mean, yeah, right.
good old cryptid Sivna.
Remember to mark one memory, so that's one of the red ones, the lower ones.
Okay. Maybe you could just take high inspiration from her, or from them, but it's very similar.
Do you see the the thing to?
Yeah, I just can't make it click it.
Oh, you can't select it?
No, it like selects all of them.
Yeah, it's one picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You just
Okay.
slide the slider over one.
Right click, multi-sided. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to do this.
If you right click it,
Okay.
and then the last option is multi-sided, and then choose side. And then you get a slider where you can move the thing around.
Okay, never mind. I got
You've
it.
got it. Exactly.
I don't use Roll20 a lot, so.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think also is if something I suggested briefly in Zoom chat is that maybe that story might be the one that Gregor was reading in his in that memory that we had that I had last session. It was a sort of bedtime story reading to somebody, or some it was an epic poem. I remember now. I was reading an epic poem, but that might have been part of the epic poem. References to it were in it, and so that I don't think I've actually remembered anything additionally, but it's a thing where there's like a just sort of has put his Gregor's put his hand up to his head, and there's this single little tear streaks down the side of his face, and he doesn't know why, or probably doesn't even notice it.
And from Arden's point of view, that's those are tales, right? From your point of view, those are
like myths.
Yeah.
Sivna is basically Auden's Mothman.
And we already started to see, Sivna, how you're responding to this, right?
Badly is the answer. I'm going to try to grab Gregor by like the heft of his armor right in the front and pull him close towards me.
I let her do it. I let them do. I'm sorry. I let them do it
okay.
Because to my way of thinking, still, and even though Gregor's thoughts are slowly evolving on it, I think he still believes that he can't do anything to hurt Sivna. There's absolutely nothing that he'd be able to possibly do to defeat her. So it's just may as well just exactly heed whatever it is that they're saying. So.
Listen to me, both of you. And I turn back to look at Auden. I'm not a myth. I'm not a demigod. I am not some sort of herald of any time or place. I don't even know what I am. So forget everything that you think you know about me. Do you understand?
I mean, you may not consider yourself those things, but someone decided to make you those things.
But they didn't ask me before they did that.
You must have done something in your life to make them.
I don't know what I did.
Neither do I.
Well then, I understand. You are in the same boat as the rest of us, as they said.
I recall nothing of anything. And until we have more information to operate on, I believe it is in our best interests to go to the west. And we forget what we remember, even if it's a little. Because otherwise, I don't know if our arrangement will be very productive. If you keep on calling me Scion and Demigod.
Can I pull out the amulet, the amulet I found last session?
I mean, you can do what you want, right?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm used to this. I don't know where that. So I pull out the amulet that I found.
I turn and look at you. Do I recognize it immediately, or do I have to roll to recognize it?
It's kind of up to you. This is your thing. Would you recognize it immediately?
I think inherently I wouldn't know what it was, but yeah. I would know that it would belong to me.
Yeah.
And I shove Gregor back, and I walk over to Auden, and I just put my hand out, saying, "That's mine."
Do you remember it?
You remember how you said that I was familiar to you? That's familiar.
I'll hand it over.
I put it on and clasp the skull close to my chest.
How does that feel, putting that on?
It makes me feel a lot more secure,
Yeah,
but
right.
maybe a little bit sad.
I'm just watching to see if anything happens to them when they put on the amulet.
Nothing, I don't think. I'm not recalling any memories. It's just a thing.
Good. So let me ask you this question, right? Well, there's nothing here that says you need to stay together. Let me be clear about that, right? If you want to part ways, you can part ways.
One thing I will say is that Gregor is bound to serve Lady Auden, or at least Gregor believes that he is. So he's ultimately probably going to go wherever it is that she wants to go. Whether Auden actually knows that or not is hard to say. But
And Sivna has clearly declared where they need to go. Right?
Just need to find a damn bow and arrow.
So this looks like Auden, or like, it sounds to me like Gregor's looking expectantly at Auden.
yeah, it's...
Is that correct?
He is. He will say actually as this is sort of being decision Gregor Gregor will say will sort of nod and just say as actually yeah sorry I won't say it yet.
Don't you find it odd that not only were you in the castle, but something familiar to you was in a completely different part of the the rubble of that former manor, I guess. Don't you want to know why you were there?
All that I
Why they
know,
were attacking us?
all that I know is that I saw something to the west that belonged to me, and I'm going to go get it.
So quick trip then.
Are you making a joke?
No, I generally want to know.
I
mean,
know
I'm fine with sieging the castle alone, but if we got a demigod in our midst, that kind of might put us at an advantage.
I know not how long the journey will take. Hopefully, it won't be too much of a labor. But I feel more and more that I know less than even the two of you.
I don't think that's possible. I know nothing at all other than that I want to know why we were in that manor, why we were attacked.
And who attacked us, as you keep on saying.
I have a lot of questions. But if we help accompany you, if we accompany you to reclaim what's yours, will you join us? Well, I can't speak for Gregor, but
My lady, I will go. I will go with you where I shall go wherever you wish. I will be able to, should we find ourselves in another place, I shall be able to unerringly find our way back here, or back to that place, as to say, gesturing toward the castle. It is what must be done. And I say that because one of the things I took under my on the character sheet for the quest is that
yes, your two boons.
yeah, one of the boons is an unwavering sense of direction to the throne of oblivion.
Okay.
And so I'll be able to return. The other one I took was an invulnerability to magical fire. Of the kind that was being launched at us.
Nice.
That's smart.
I almost went for the mark of divine authority just for that, but
It'd just be my face.
It's more situational. Yeah.
That was a joke.
Okay.
One other thing, actually, sorry, that I do just want to mention, or actually, Gregor wants to ask. If it seems like we're getting ready to move in some direction or other, as it seems to, Gregor's going to just sort of look up to Sivna and say, "This individual who was with you in the manor."
Individual isn't quite the word that I would use.
This was in some entity or other, yes?
I would say it was several persons cobbled together into one person. It's difficult to explain.
Could perhaps you describe them?
They were a lot of armor and very big.
I'm wondering, is this enough for me to try to remember the Legionnaire, I guess, is the question.
That I can't tell you. If you want to remember something, you just go
ahead and do it.
Say it.
I would like to.
No, don't roll yet.
Okay.
You have to say it first, what you're remembering. And then we'll see if that's correct or not.
All right. There is... I think that... this was...
Quite introduced themselves to me. They did run through several walls.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar. There is someone who might perhaps be of assistance to us then. How much do I need to say actually before I dive in? As far as like, do I go ahead and say the full memory, or do I first, or do I like roll first, or how does that work?
Well, so the way this works is, so if you're just restating something that we already know for that is true, right? Then it doesn't actually trigger the move.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. If you're just going to say, "Oh, I remember them because I have a bond with them."
Okay. So
all that you're saying is what is contained in your bond. Then this is not a memory coming back, but something that's already been established.
Okay.
If you want to say something else about them, then yeah.
All right. Let's see. In that case, yeah, I don't have anything immediately coming to mind. So actually, I don't think I'm going to necessarily roll yet. Then what I'll, as far as like creating a memory about them.
This was good to bring up, right? So that everybody knows that this other being was there. And I think, I don't know, you weren't explicit about it, but Sivna, you said they fell into a chasm. Did you tell them that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Just to make sure that is clear. So whenever you want to get somewhere, right? There's I have this move here, traveling the ruins. When you navigate a maze, labyrinth, or place to easily get lost in, so anytime you want to get anywhere in the ruins, choose a leader and have them roll plus wisdom. Or plus whiz.
I believe I would be that person.
Sounds to me, right? Because you want to get somewhere.
I'm very firmly decided on going to this place, and I'm the only one who knows exactly where it was and what I saw.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm leading. Yay. Okay.
So one thing that I just wanted to, basically part of where I was going with all that was that I was hoping to go down, and my character probably would have wanted to go down and have a look for the Legionnaire if you remembered them. and to try to find them. But I don't know how that works with the fiction, and also the fact that we do not have Lloyd with us today. So,
I mean, what Sivna would have been able to tell you is that they fell into a bottomless chasm. So
okay, so we've basically it seems as though they are no more than as far as we know. Okay, so we'll kind of go with that. Okay.
I'm just putting this move into roll 20 for me.
Oh yeah, to make yourself a move. Yes, that's a good idea. But to finish the description of it, on a hit, describe the path you take, and the party holds 1. On a 12 plus, you gain 2 holds. On a 7 to 9, the GM will introduce a hazard to overcome. A rickety bridge, treacherous slope, tight squeeze, or something nasty only they can dream up. Anytime the party may spend 1 hold to come across a cache of valuables or resources, describe the area containing this cache. At any time, the party may spend 3 hold to find the entrance, exit, or place they seek.
All right, let's do this. Please don't fail. Oh, nice.
Nice. So you get to hold 1 and describe the path you take. What's this look like?
I think so. We're in like this little grove of dead pine trees, right?
Yeah, and it's a very steep slope, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like as if you're on a mountainside. Only at the top there's ocean beyond the peak of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Sidna doesn't like that because there's a lot of cognitive dissonance there.
Yeah. And the path you're taking, though, like, feel free to describe where it leads you down and where like the first leg of this journey ends for you.
So I was gonna say, is it selfish of me to spend the 1 hold so that I can get myself a weapon, or like what? Or will I come across it?
No, if that's what you want to do, that's actually something you can do.
So I think we kind of take our way. We make like hatchbacks down the slide of this mountain, because if we go straight down, we're just gonna slide on rock and shale. And so I kind of pick this way across, and we as we head farther down, we run into more and more of these dead pine trees with their bright red needles, and we keep on going, and more there's these skeletal, like obviously they once had leaves, but the leaves have died and all fallen off right now, and like poplar trees and oak, and we go, and I'm going to spend the hold, and we come across this ruined little fort, and obviously there was a battle here at some point, and there's bodies lying in armor, scattered across, but they're unmoving, unresponsive. And Sivna goes, and they pick through, and they pull a hunting bow and arrows out of the dried bodies, very unemotionally, just this is what you do, right? And putting together like a quiver of arrows and a bow, and I get a short sword and arm myself from these ruins.
A detail about this is, they're unmoving, unresponsive, but they're not dead.
Not dead.
Yeah. They're just, like, unmoving, unresponsive. But, yeah. Like, I think this is like one is like leaning against the ruins with their head, right?
Mhm.
And so there's something like they are standing upright in that sense. If you shove them, they're like almost fall, and they might fall and then just lay there. But that's what I mean with they're not dead. They're very much undead. But
Yeah. Their eyes follow me as I'm like pulling like arrows out of their rib cages and like rifling through their pockets. They're like looking at me.
Yes.
It's really weird.
Do these creatures look as though they have been corrupted in some fashion or other?
I don't know. Are you taking a closer look at them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I shall.
Then do roll this. So it's not discern realities. It's study the ruins.
Study the ruins. We'll do. 11.
So good. So on a hit, mark radiance.
Yes. Excellent. Okay.
And on a 10 plus, ask the GM 3 questions from the list below.
All right. So, let me just find my place here. Okay. Let's see. What happened here recently was about to happen. What is... Here's... Okay. Okay, first, question number 1. What here is wrong or strange?
Good question. What here is wrong or strange? I mean... Everything? No. So, I mean, these are some... This is kind of the... You can't sink any lower than these creatures. Like, they've lost all agency or drive or anything. You're not sure if you could even say that they're persons anymore.
Okay.
They're just husks, like echoes of whatever else.
Well, that is good enough for me as far as that qualification goes. But then I have 2 more questions. So let's see. You see, the funny thing is one of these questions is what happened here recently, and I have a feeling that the answer to that might be nothing. But since that's I think what I will say is what is about to happen.
I think you're about to... Well, what is about to happen? You see, or... Well, one of them is watching you. Like, it's not watching... Sivna. They're watching you, and not with those empty eyes.
Okay. And I'm sorry. Did I not let you finish there?
Yeah.
Okay. The third question then is what here can be made into something useful and new?
I mean, they might be husks, or they are husks, right? They can be reinvigorated with the right power. like they can be given agency back.
Okay, interesting. All right, I'm actually going to head over to the one that is looking at me specifically. And I'm going to...
as soon as like you seem to single them out, they start to scurry away, and then like their eyes go wide, and they scatter like.
I'm chasing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I noticed this.
Yeah, of course. What do you do?
I guess I'll follow. I thought these were just husks too, except for the fact that their eyes were following me. Thought they were super dead.
Yeah, there were, except for this one, and as this one is moving, it becomes clear that it's not one of them. Like it's wearing like different clothing, and it's much more yeah, alive is a strange word to use here.
You could say it's much more lively.
Yeah, much more lively. And as soon as Gregor gives chase and you follow as well, right?
Can I call out to them?
Yeah.
We don't mean you any harm. They're just traveling through.
I meant no offense, and it's like scrambling up like side of the room. It's definitely like going into a dead end here. Mm-hmm. Like this like part of the ruin is like a first, basically the first level of it, right? And so it's stuck up there, like it's getting to a higher place, but now it's stuck up at the higher place. You're standing down below. And there's no other way to go from there. No apparent way, at least. And now that you can like take a closer look, they don't have eyes, but they've got an intensity about them where you kind of can always see who they would be looking at if they had eyes. It's a creature or being that has like, or where their eyes would be, it's covered by a growth of bone. They're very lithe, but very simple. And they're like, I meant no offense, no harm.
And we were on the same side.
Who are you?
I don't. I'm the fiddler.
He hasn't quite made it up to the roof yet, however, I take it.
And no, this is like really just a corner of a ruin.
Okay.
Yeah. He hasn't made it up. There's no roof.
But he was making a joke about the fiddler on the roof.
I'm so sorry. I apologize to everyone on the
bad
pun.
And as you like, when you ask when you ask their name, something else happens with them. They're like, do you know where the violin is? Have you seen it? Have you heard it?
We can certainly look for it.
I need to find the maestro's violin. Can I come with you? Are you going where the violin plays? I can hear it sometimes.
You can hear something.
Sometimes I can hear the violin play. Then I know where to go, but I never get there in time.
Which way do you hear the violin?
I don't hear it right now. I haven't heard it for quite some time, but I don't know where to look. I thought I'd look in the big manor. You would keep a perfect violin in the manor, would you not? But then...
I think there might have been
things in the sky.
Someone who came through once playing a violin on the manor's stage. Perhaps some time ago. But we did not see one now, but we did not have time to look. The manor is in ruins.
The manor was destroyed, so...
Yes. So I hid here.
I turn to Gregor and I say, I see no qualms at this point of taking the fiddler with us. I don't know how Auden will react.
There was one who played a fiddle and was able to make people dance.
In a good way?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember something, but I don't know if that is enough to qualify.
Now you got to be specific what you're remembering.
So it's like I have to. So it would have to be more detailed than that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's the relevancy of this?
Yeah, that's a good point. My thought is that the violin might actually be might be a powerful item that has plays with the stuff of people's souls, perhaps. But yeah, that's just sort of my interpretation thereof. But that being the case, it would be a helpful thing to have if it were being employed on our behalf.
Tivna hears someone who calls themselves the fiddler looking for a violin, and they're like, well, let's get the fiddler their violin back so that they can fiddle. That's how it works. That's how you do this. Fiddlers play instruments. They play fiddles. And they need instruments to play.
Yeah, and I think they like slowly let themselves down. Like still a little bit hesitant, but trusting.
Music makes everyone merry, so we'll help you out.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't ever had someone to assist me in my search.
How long have you been looking?
We're here now.
I ache for it so much.
There are worse things to ache for.
And they nod, and I think they and they reach out a hand towards you, Sivna.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hand to touch you, like on your arm or something, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to stop them.
Yeah, and you can feel their touch. Looking for reassurance and for guidance is what you feel, right?
Mm-hmm. How can I give that to them? I nod at them and I say, I remember being with my company of fighters, and there was a few musicians who would travel with us, and on the nights before battle, they would sing songs of deeds of old and deeds yet to come, and it would always prepare our spirits so that we knew that no matter the foes that we faced, we would always have something to return to. And if this is the story that you wish to create and you wish to seek, then I can think of a few nobler causes.
I wish nothing more. But also you're recounting a memory.
Yeah. Awesome. Mark one memory. Maybe that quickly before I forget. Since I chose the other one the last time, I think that my recollection will be inaccurate in some way.
Yeah.
I love them, by the way. I love the fiddler. They're my new best friend.
I think you definitely are there, so because they'll follow you, and yeah.
Hey, Auden, this is the fiddler, and they're looking for their violin. Hi, the fiddler. This is Auden. Introduce yourselves. They're coming with us.
My pleasure. I'm looking for my violin. Not by chance that you've seen it?
Not that I can recall, anyways.
I think the anyways, not the least of which that I'm allowed to come with. I so much seek the maestro's violin to play it again.
It's in the castle that attacked us.
Is that what you believe?
Who knows what's there?
Who knows what's anywhere? We're all discovering things together.
The Throne Oblivion is there.
Yes, we've been through that.
Don't you think there would be a nice violin near the throne?
It's not a nice violin. It's their nice violin. Specificity.
It would not surprise me that to hear that whatever tyrant exists there now, would claim such an item for themselves. It may be there. It may very well be.
Where? Now, Sivna, that you've armed yourself,
Mm-hmm.
where now does this group actually want to go?
I want to keep heading southwest towards where I saw that glimmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to roll again?
Yeah.
All still traveling the ruins?
Yep.
Which of these little pictures was the one toward the southwest?
The one on the left.
On the left. Okay, cool.
The one that's southwest.
Oh, actually, quite yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's on the map.
I'm trying to be not super complicated with this.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell directions, Mathias.
Never.
Directions, what are they? I don't know.
Um,
I have only one compass direction, and that's the Oblivion Throne.
yeah. That's going to get old on Simna very quickly.
I have a feeling it's already getting old for folks. Sorry.
Yeah. It's all right. Let's roll.
Nice.
That's literally and figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
So you get one hold. And you make your way further towards further south. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really fun. Here's a question that I think Sipna would notice. Is there like a sun in the sky, and is like the day like changing from like earlier to later? Is like time progressing at all, or is it just like kind of
I don't think so. Like there's a sun in the sky, but it's not really progressing. It's different at different places, if that makes sense.
You don't like that?
I
So
don't
basically,
like it.
if you like, right, maybe you like turn into like a small little canyon, you come back out again, it's afternoon there. Anytime you return to the spot, it's afternoon there. Walking back through the canyon on the other side might be morning, but like the sun will be in the same place. It will never move.
Oh, that can't be good.
I mean,
We're all dead. We're all dead
broken
anyway.
here.
That's definitely a sign of something. That's
Still hasn't quite come to the terms with the fact that they're dead, but that's
We're all
not
undead around here.
So are you asking also because you say there's a place where you rest for the night, where you find it is night?
Well, that was going to be my second question: is are we even getting tired walking?
No. You're also not getting hungry. You don't need this. Like this is like a thing that's a realization that comes after a while. You don't need to eat anything. There's no desire to eat anything.
This all feels just so wrong in every possible way to Sipna. They don't like it. This isn't the way things are supposed to be.
How much of this do the others realize? That's a good question, by the way.
I think Autumn would have like realized when she's practically frozen that she doesn't really. She's not feeling like worn down or hungry. Like it wasn't. That's like at the bottom of concerns for her.
Yeah. What does still happen is a need to reflect. Like that's not something that goes away. Like this, a thing where you just sit and reflect and stare into nothingness is definitely something where you feel, yeah, that might be good to do every now and again. And this is me saying to actually use your experience and to level up, you need to actually make camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I don't have enough experience to do that. So.
Yeah. So it's not a big urge right now at this point.
yeah. I
What's
think,
the place look like where you like settle after a while?
I mean, I can describe it, but I was thinking it's a river valley kind of thing where like between two mountains, right? Between two hills where there's no water running through. Like it's dry bed, but all the plants and stuff are still there, but it's like they're frozen, they're petrified. And like, so it's not desert, it's just all dry wood and dry bank and rocks. And I think where we make camp is in a place where like a waterfall would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like where the river bank takes like a deep turn, but there's no water, so there's just like this natural hollow where erosion has taken place, and there are rocks, and it's just a naturally protected area.
And it feels like night there.
Yeah, it feels like night here.
Yeah. And like the feather's been following you, like, or walking among you. And just sits down to rest as the rest of you. Do you actually make a camp thing here?
Well, we don't need fire to be warm.
No, but there's a definite feel that you want to mark that you've gotten this far.
I think it's not like again, it's just like muscle memory kind of thing, where Sivna's body says you are making camp and you're staying here for a long time. You have to make a fire. You have to roll out bed rolls, and you have to do all this stuff, and you have to set a watch, and they're doing all this super automatically.
Yeah, same.
But there's no real rest to come. Instead, some indefinite number of hours or years or millennia later, you continue on your journey.
Oh, that's wonderful.
A whole millennia later.
I'm not sure.
We just sit around for 1,000 years.
I think there's a moment when, if there's in some of the there were some there were like frozen areas here that had previously where there had been water, right? Is that part of the description? I can't remember.
It can be whatever you want to be. I just threw that out, so you can stay.
I'm trying to build on stuff instead of I'm trying to build rather than overwrite anything else. But what I think probably there's like somewhere where you can sort of see a reflection at some point during the night, because it's been or at some point during the night, it's been like hours or years, and Gregor is like stood up and is well, it's like part of the noticing, not tired, and noticing probably I forgot to do the thing where I take my armor off, and I think Gregor actually goes over there and takes off the helm for a moment, and just sort of looks at himself and realizes that he's not. He kind of had the sense that he was probably dead because he saw the world end, and he doesn't remember the exact details, but he knew that happened. But it's just sort of like this, just very, this is like very pale, sort of almost bluish skin and the sort of white hair falling down, but also you can see through it a little bit. Depending on mood and what have you. So as he sort of does this, sort of sees through himself, the eyes just sort of flare up for a second, as it's like almost like having a little panic attack, and then just sort of comes back down, and just like raises the hand, looks at it, it sort of goes in and out for a minute, and then just sort of closes his eyes, and then it comes back. Quietly just sort of puts the helmet back on and locks it into place. And it's very quiet for the rest of the night. It just sort of stands guard.
And Sivna has a similar realization, but different in that they're just lying on their back, staring up at the sky, and they've got their fingers laced across their chest, and they feel no heartbeat underneath.
Staring at the unmoving stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
It also sounds like there's not much real conversation, which is maybe also very natural, or a thing to note after a while, that you've been walking and there's little to no chit chat between any of you, it seems like. So you continue on this journey?
I feel like this is a good place to end the session. For me, at least.
But you would be continuing the journey?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Then,
After a couple hours, not millennia.
No, maybe
who's
like
to tell?
a week.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Time doesn't
Yeah.
matter anymore. There is no such thing as time. So
I mean, there is a thing in the back of my head I think Gregor is thinking of asking Auden about, but I don't know if we need to really worry about that right now necessarily.
Yeah. So maybe something to open up next time with. But I would like to get that next roll down. Just
the next traveling roll, so we know what's going to happen. Okie dokie.
Nice.
12 plus, I gain 2 holds.
Yep.
This is. I'm really good at this, guys.
Yeah. So you could actually arrive if you wanted to.
Yeah, because I have 3 hold.
Mhm.
Right? Because I didn't
Exactly.
spend that last hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, maybe that's where we leave off, is we walk.
When you arrive in the mired land, yes.
Yes. Love it.
A land very familiar to Sivna. But we'll come back for that next time. For now, we need to do end of session stuff, which is fairly quick, but let me see. So at the end of session, you still, are there any bonds you want to resolve? Because I think relationships have kind of shifted.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably want to rewrite my bond with Gregor.
Which it was.
It was, I remember the divine rhetoric of Gregor's order for my days. I will follow them in their vision wherever they lead me.
Dynamics changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then you can think about what you want to, like, you don't have to come up with it on the spot unless you know already.
I was going to say Gregor is deluded.
Okay.
As to me and what I am.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
I was going to say I will find and show him the truth about my history.
Nice, yes. You're writing it as almost as a belief already. I like that.
Yeah.
But take XP for that. Don't forget about that.
Do I
bond?
get +1 bond with him too? Because I resolved that.
No, because you basically resolve that bond and rewrite that
Okay.
bond.
Okay,
So you
sounds
stay-
good.
Yes,
I think.
Gregor, you have a bond?
Well, I suspect that it has also changed. For my bond with Sivna might have changed a bit. And so, let me ask though, because I'm not. It's originally it is. I have no proof, but I remember what Sivna was doing in the days before their end. I blame them for the ruin that ultimately followed. Now, that may still kind of be true, but I feel as though Gregor's perspective on Sivna has shifted a bit, and that he's not assigning quite as much blame because he kind of thinks that in a way it would sort of, a new bond would be sort of almost an inversion of Sivna's bond with him, as Sivna has forgotten themselves and their place in the cosmology, and that
They need to be reminded.
I will remind them of their true potential.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So we're at odds here already. Love it.
Y'all have been at odds, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Take XP for that then, Gregor.
All right.
Auden, do you have a bond you feel like is resolved?
No, because mine were basically I feel like Simna is a pure soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one with Gregor was Gregor knew the secrets of the kingdom, and the days before I will get those from him somehow. I need them, which is kind of true. Well, it hasn't been resolved, but he's been talking about the throne, so.
Yeah, we started in on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is going to get really interesting. That's very cool.
Then any of your drives, which are noted at where you have your alignment, right?
No.
That's your drive. What do you have as your drive, Auden?
Restore something tarnished or ruined, which I just destroyed a manor further. So, don't think I did that one.
How about the other ones? Do you have a drive come to? What's your drive, Gregor?
I got close. Destroy something corrupted by the fall, but I don't think I quite made. I was defending, but I don't think I actually destroyed anything necessarily. I can't remember actually if it happened in the fiction or not. I know I didn't like roll to destroy anything per se, but
that's true. Yeah,
I think I just sort of was. I tried to, but I don't think we're quite. I don't know what happened. What happened to the undead things that were attacking us at the beginning?
They got frozen.
That's right.
Yeah, they get frozen and then killed as by the firewalls.
Yes. So So I did not, in fact, fulfill my alignment.
I think my alignment might have been fulfilled. Discover a truth of the world before the fall. So people being like, "Yeah, you're a demigod." I'm like, "Excuse me." People believed, at least the Order of the Eidolon believed that I was a demigod of some sort.
And the others thought they were a cryptid.
Yeah.
Yep. Correct.
I want to hear like the specific stories that Auden knew about them. Being like, were they like a good cryptid, or was it like if you go into the woods at night and you'll see a person wearing
in my head,
the skull?
In my head, I was thinking that she would have heard that they were mostly benevolent, but like not benevolent, mostly good, but like when evil or like someone did wrong in their realm, they were vengeful.
Yeah. We'll see.
I also want to hear these.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write Simna lore that people spread around.
So you took XP for that, Sivna?
Yes.
Good. So now the group questions. Did we destroy something corrupt and dangerous?
I don't think so. I think something corrupt and dangerous was destroyed, but not through our actions at all.
Okay. Did we take, liberate, or create a powerful or useful treasure?
We made a friend.
Yeah. The real treasure were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, the real treasure is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, do you all say yes? Then I'm cool.
I think he's going to be. I think the fiddler is going to turn out to be very significant, one way or the other.
Or it's significant and just a bud. Either way, I'm happy.
Yeah, then all of you take an XP there. Did we learn something important about the world before the fall?
Yes.
I think definitely.
I think so.
Yes, who just leveled up.
And did we take a step toward building a new world in the ruins?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So because we're kind of ending on the campsite, or rather, like arriving there, I think this will be like viable to count if you want to take that level up for whoever has gotten one. I think Gregor should also have enough by now.
I have 7, so I need 1 more.
Oh, okay.
Almost there.
Should have failed more.
I know,
I was
right?
gonna say I rolled 3 times and I didn't fail in a row, like 3 times for the same thing. So good for me for taking that +2 Wiz.
Yeah, Wiz is also your strongest stat, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I made it my strongest stat. I also figured if you're a desiccated bog body, even if you were super dexterous and like in life, when you've been in a bog for an untellable amount of time, you're probably lost a little bit of that agility.
Yeah.
That was my reasoning.
Long years to get wiser, though.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So, thank you all. That was it for tonight.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks so much. That was really cool. I am so glad we're back doing this. I'm enjoying this a lot. Everything that happens, because again, everything that happens is kind of like a font of imagery, and we just get to go off on it, and it's really cool. I think I'm still adjusting a little bit to certain bits of it, because I think I still have that in the sort of instinct back in the back of my head from D&D about don't narrate the thing, when it's like, no, narrate the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go for it.
That for some reason, I mean, it's you never know when that thing will arise, but hopefully can beat it down sufficiently to get some more cool stuff going. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and hanging out here, and I think we're going to go ahead and do our outros, and so we can say just sort of what you think of the game so far, what you thought of the game, and where folks can find you. And this time I shall start with Rachel.
Oh, hey, that's me. Hi, everyone. This is Rachel. You can find me on the internet at r_Omulus on Twitter. That's my handle. Don't wear it out. I'm playing games. I'm here every other Saturday, hopefully. I don't know what our schedules look at going forward, but that's the plan. Here every other Saturday. I am on Off the Table every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. No, I don't know how time works. What time? Whatever. Every Tuesday evening on Off the Tables channel, playing Urban Shadows. Every other Thursday, I am on Phantom Roll Booth playing Ballad of the Garbage People, which we just, our last session was us switching systems over to Stars Without Number, and so we're really excited to get playing that game. And yeah, I think that's where you can find me for the time being. I hope I said everything. Oh, I have a podcast called Hero Talkademia, where we talk about the anime My Hero Academia, and we're right now just recording our first few episodes. So find us on Hero Talkademia on Twitter to keep updated with that.
Awesome. Excellent. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that comes out. And moving to Charlie.
Charlie, I'm having a real fun time. You can find me on Twitter at Diet Cream Soda. That's about it. I was playing this game that's streamed.
Very cool, very cool. And our GM, Mathias.
Yeah, this is super fun. I'm loving getting into this weird where like death doesn't really matter, where it's much more important what you remember, and that feels super interesting to me. Like I can't, like I would like want to continue playing on right now. Just find out where this is all headed. You can find me tomorrow on Pro Restarter's channel, where I jamming Mouse Guard. On Tuesday on Pro Restarter's channel, where I'm playing a very icky, strange angel in a game of Apocalypse World. And next Thursday, we're finally starting our Monster Hearts game, Autumn of the Merry Maidens, on Sophie Mai's channel. And I can't wait for that. Yep, and announced that's still a little bit out, 2 weeks time, where I'll be GMing a game of Hearts of Wulin on Katie Faze's channel, which is gonna be awesome too. That's like wuxia melodrama, but more details once we're closer to that.
Cool. It's really great. It's really great. It's I just I think I'm blessed to be able to play with such wondrous individuals. This is really awesome. And so thank you all so much for coming and doing this here on my channel.
Thank you for having us.
As for me, I am Jim Ryan. This is my channel. I'm really looking forward to continuing with this. I think I'm trying not to be too much of a jerk with my character. I think he's to a certain extent very kind of bullheaded, but there's
no. I think we should all just be absolute assholes.
Yes.
Because
should all be utter bastards.
Yeah, I mean, Sim is a bastard. I'm pretty sure.
It's entirely possible. You've been kicking ass so far, though. This has been really great. But as for stuff happening here on Channel Other Doc, as we amusingly call it in the back of our head, I'm going to be tomorrow running the first of a series of one-shots of Durance by Jason Morningstar, the same guy who did Fiasco. Its default setting is on a prison planet in deep space, and that's the setting we're going to be playing in tomorrow. Also, additionally, tomorrow's game is going to be part of the Extra Life effort this weekend of Monty Cook Games. I'll have Darcy Ross playing on that Darcy Ross of Monty Cook Games will be with us, and it should be a lot of fun. Yeah. So this should be really going to enjoy it. I think I'm really going to enjoy it. I've only played it a little bit in the past, so I just kind of want to see where things go. Additionally, a little bit further on, we have again on Tuesday nights. I'm playing in Urban Shadows on Off the Table, also with Rachel. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the spiral of despair that we're getting into right now, and I think it's going to be really cool. On Friday afternoons and Saturday mornings, still doing video games. And also something that is coming up between now and 2 weeks hence, which should tentatively be the next date that we're playing this. Between then and now, I'm going to be at a convention, Mace, in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to be running a number of games there, including a session of Dungeon World. I'm going to do my thing that I sometimes do, where I just run it spontaneously with a number of prompts, sometimes drawn from other games. Sometimes I use In a Wicked Age to figure out the starting scenario, and then just run it in Dungeon World. And so we'll see how that goes, but I'm very much looking forward to that. But I shall be around should anyone be in the area. And that, I think, does it for what I am up to at present. I am OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. That is OTHERDOC. And that is where one can find the channel. And you can also find links to my various things that I am doing, audio projects, writing projects, game sign up, also for future things, one-shots happening on this channel. Right now, November's about full, I think, so I can only take on alternates, but December is wide open, and I've got sign-ups for that. That on my website at jimyesthatjim.com. Feel free to go there and click on game sign-up if you want to get in on that. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all of a sudden.
Thank you. Bye.